Hi, I am going to make the most delicious fall brownies today. Now, if you're anything like me, you love brownies. Brownies are such a great and easy dessert to have on hand, but brownies, you know, there's like kind of one flavor, and that's chocolate. And so I thought I'd mix it up a little bit today and show you how to add a pumpkin swirl to your brownies to make it perfect for fall, make it really delicious, but also keep things really simple because easy recipes are the best recipes. I do want to note, because I cook for one and a lot of you do too, I'm going to choose a brownie mix that has 2 eggs in the ingredient list, and that way it's just really easy to divide in half. Okay, so the first step in making these brownies is to prepare the pumpkin swirl. So I already have an ounce of cream cheese, and it's fairly soft, and then I will be adding a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. I would add 1 teaspoon of sugar up to 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. So if you don't know if you're gonna like it or not, mix it all together. And then I would use a whisk to finish it off. And then I'm going to add 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Now, that's just up to your preference. Okay, so my next step is to make the brownie mix. Now I'm making this brownie mix according to the box directions. So cut that in half if you're making half a recipe like I am. And sometimes it's hard to get all the brownie mix out of the bag. So my brownie mix calls for oil, calls for water, and it calls for an egg. Again, this is half of a recipe. Now that all the ingredients are in, I'm just gonna crack the egg yolk and mix it all together. Now this brownie recipe is pretty good on its own, but in my mind, what makes really good brownies are having chocolate chips in them. It adds extra chocolate to it, and then also kind of a little bit of a different texture, which I really like. So I will be adding 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of chocolate chips, just kind of see how they distribute. I mean, I don't know, is it possible to have too many chocolate chips? I don't think so. So all of the components here are done. I just need to assemble them in the pan. Okay, so my next step is to pour the brownie batter into the baking dish. The oven is preheating at 350 degrees, and I will press this in as well as I can. You can cut it to make it look nicer, but gosh, you know, let's just make things easy, right? I actually will start by spraying this. I just want to make sure it's going to come out really easily for photos that I take. You don't have to put parchment paper in if you don't want to. I normally don't, except for when I'm taking photos. And then I'm just going to pour the batter in. And the batter will weigh down the paper a little bit, as long as you don't get the sides in on it. This might be kind of messy. And that's okay. As long as the sides, well, and now that, here we go. So I got it on the side, and it's weighing down the paper. So, troubleshooting here. Spraying brownie batter everywhere. I'm just gonna scrape it off the side so it doesn't weigh down. So we get all the brownie batter in here so it can all cook evenly and be delicious. Okay, so make sure that the parchment is out of the way. Don't do what I do. We're just gonna make a couple blobs and then swirl it in so it looks fun and festive. So I have my brownies out of the oven. They've been cooling just for a little bit, and now it is time to cut them. So I will just pull them out the pan and then pull down the parchment I sprayed it, but it looks like it wasn't sprayed quite well enough, but that's okay. They'll still taste great. Now I'll just cut them. When I put the toothpick in, the center was still a little bit gooey, and it makes for perfect brownies. I would recommend jiggling the brownies, and if they don't jiggle out of the oven, then they're gonna be good to go. Now, gotta lick the knife if you're not sharing with anybody else. And then I'll cut them into 8 medium-ish sized brownies. And here you go.